Hi guys, Sharper back once again with another minting box for TokuToyStore.com. And today we're going to be looking at the RKF Kamen Rider Zi-O II, which is the secondary form for our resident would-be overlord. This form is an interesting one in regards to the lore that it adds to the series and its place as part of Sougo's arsenal. But for now, we'll take a look at the box, which features a heavy yellow theme. I can't remember what the original Zi-O's was, but I'm probably going to say it was pink. And seeing this alternate colour kind of makes the whole thing pop, in contrast to what is ultimately another form of Zi-O, but with a touch of gold. So I can see them adding the yellow as part of the new updated design. And one of the things that surprised me right out of the gate, if it would focus, is that this Zi-O II figure is another base figure, meaning that like Zi-O, Gates and Woz, it is compatible with the ride armors. I'm not entirely sure that Zi-O II is compatible with the ride armors in the show itself. To the point where I've watched, he's never done it, but that may change. Even the picture doesn't have him with a special faceplate, it's just the original toy's head with the armor around it. I don't know whether this was for more playability in this line or what. I don't know, because the Zi-O II suit itself is a lot bulkier, it's got a lot more layers to it, and this just looks like Zi-O Redux. But we'll get more into that in the figure itself, which we'll take a look at right now. As I hinted at in the intro, Zi-O II, in terms of being a new form for Sougo, focuses less on the legendary riders and more on Sougo's innate power in himself, because this form comes about during the whole arc where he's dealing with future Kamen Riders that may or may not exist down the line, and this form is created to combat them, since there are no real versions of Shinobi, Kikai, Quiz, all of those guys. And it's a pretty cool form. It builds on Zi-O's aesthetic. It's not out of nowhere. It's not over elaborate. It's just a more built up, solid version of Zi-O that uses 2 ride watches, hence 2 straps, 2 clock faces, and a little more coloration. But ultimately the suit stays the same, and this figure in particular feels a little anemic because of it, because these straps here should be like flaps, and I feel his upper torso should be bulked out a little more, but it's not too bad. But I think they sacrificed giving Zi-O II his own unique identity in the toy line in favour of incorporating the rider armour gimmick, which I don't think is even a thing in the show. But just like Zi-O, Woz and Gates, he does include ports to add rider armour pieces to him. Don't know if they fit as snugly as some of the other ones, but I would hope so. I'd hope they'd figure that out by the 4th figure using the rider armors. But yeah, the suit itself, majority black, works in this case, and the magenta, silver and gold really help the suit pop, give it a real identity all its own. But it is a bare bones figure when it comes down to it, because it is intended to use the ride armor system as a extra accessory. But he does come with an accessory himself. He doesn't come with any spare hands, unfortunately, but he does come with the Psycho Gilade, a new Edge of Time sword, but it's got his face on it. That's ostentatious to the max, befitting of an overlord, and I kind of love it. And it can combine with the original Edge of Time sword slash gun, which is pretty cool. The detail on it is cracking. That's going to be a customizer's favourite thing to detail, I can already tell. But unlike some of the other figures, he does not have a peg in his hand, but they've mitigated that somewhat by including a little divot in the hilt, which will organically fit around his thumb, helping the sword stay snug in his hand without feeling loose or stretching the hand out at all. And that's a big improvement, I feel, for this series. And because of the fairly standard range of motion that you should come to expect with these base figures, he can do all sorts of poses, and with the sword in hand, you can do some good stuff. You can look ready for battle. Even the ride watches look like a little mini buckler almost, which is cool. Overall, I'm not as impressed with Zi-O II as I was with his original counterpart, but that's just a byproduct of them wanting to churn out one last base figure to help get more people to buy ride armors, and hopefully this means that you can display more of your ride armors in your collection by picking this guy up. So he does have some utility when it comes to collecting him. You can pick this guy up from tokutoystore.com for $19.99. And that's a fair price for another base figure to play around with your rider armors. As always, I've been Sharpo. This has been the RKF Zi-O II from Kamen Rider Zi-O, and I'll catch you guys next time on Mint in Box.